Hi friends, my name is Megan and welcome to my 2022 WIP Parade. If you're new here, welcome. I hope that you enjoy all the projects that I have to share with you today, and if you're returning, thank you so much for coming to spend the time with me. I know, like many of you, I love WIP Parade season. I love seeing everybody's projects and hearing everybody's plans and all of it. I love it all. And I'm also very thankful to all of you that do the mid-year WIP Parade, so we get it at least twice a year. So, very good. I have a lot to show you today, so I'm going to kind of get started with some kind of a little bit of stats from last year. I spent years not tracking my stitching at all, and this year I decided to get a calendar. This one's just from Target. I did get myself a book of days for next year, and I told myself I could only get the book of days if I kept up with this, and I did, and I stitched every single day this year, which is awesome. I don't know that I've ever accomplished that before. There's always been like one or two or a couple days here or there that I haven't stitched, but this year, every day. So I started 2022 with 18 WIPs, and I finished 11 of those. I had 88 starts throughout the year, and I had a total of 72 finishes, including the 11 that I finished with my previous WIPs. Now, a lot of those were small finishes. I'm doing 3 monthly series, so each one of those that I finished counted as one, so that's 21 of them right there. If you can hear the dog, she's got a toy. But, you know, 72 finishes is 72 finishes, and 72 is my favorite number, so that's great. I am starting 2023 with 35 WIPs. You're going to see almost all of them. I did not bring over my 3 monthly series because I show them in almost all of my videos, and I have one secret stitch. I have a second secret stitch I need to start, and I will have, for sure, a New Year's start. I'm going to start the Beatrix Potter sampler sal with Kansas City Girl and a Colorado World Julie. So you'll see that all next time. I had set myself some goals for the year, and I did finish most of those goals. Some things I wanted to like finish the outline of something, or I wanted to work on it consistently for so many weeks, or just finish it in general, and I finished almost all of them except for my sampler goals. My samplers were kind of neglected a little bit this year. I'm hoping to try to find a way to remedy that next year, maybe by like focusing on one a month, just to try to keep them going. I love them all, so why they sat a little bit, I'm not sure. That's neither here nor there right now. I think we should get into all of these projects. So I've got 3 piles. I've got this one here, I've got this one here, and I've got one over here, so I'm gonna see if we can do this without having to reset, but we'll see. Also, the lighting is not gonna be that great today. It is, did I say that it is December 31st, Saturday, New Year's Eve, and here in Maryland it is raining. It is foggy outside. Like, I'm looking out the window, and I can see kind of to the end of the yard. We have a big meadow, but I can't see really past that. So foggy. I've got extra lighting set up. I've got the overhead light on. I do know that sometimes when I film in low light, the quality can get a little bit grainy, but there's nothing really I can do about that. So hopefully all of these beautiful projects will make you forget all of those things. All right, these are really in no particular order, but the one I did start with on top is my oldest WIP. I think I started this in 2018, and this is the Desiderata by Lifetime Samplers. Like this. This is a UK company, and I do have the Indigo Rose Desiderata pattern that I would like to do for myself. I think this one will be a gift. So I'm stitching this in all the called for DMC. It lives in this bag. This is a big project. It's being stitched on 16 count lamb's wool Aida, and I am halfway done. This is really beautiful though. There's a lot of instructions that go with it. There's a lot, you use 1 or 2 threads depending on the section that you're in. There's a lot of stem stitch and back stitch and different borders and colors that I would never put together, like these greens. I never would think about that, but this year I finished this section down here, my goal for the year was to finish the whole border on this side too. Obviously that, no, that did not happen. All right, so the next project I have is a sampler that I started this year. This is by Smoky Mountain Stitches, and it's Anne Woodall 1847. A reproduction sampler. It looks like this. I had this chart, and then when I went to the retreat in New Jersey, needleworkers had the model of it on the wall, and I was blown away. Now, I will have to say, with this pattern, I am using the DMC conversion, and the DMC conversion does not look like this. I mean, some of it does, but a lot of it kind of didn't. So I did end up having to go in and make a lot of changes to this. So I'm using some of the called for DMC and some that I picked. This cute bag here. I'm stitching this on a piece of 28 smoke linen by Perman. So this is going to be giant, and I love this. This is where I am. So that's one page right there. It's beautiful. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be, I mean, there's like margins obviously, but big. I hope to get a lot of progress on this year. That's where that is. The next is a start that I made during June. I participated in Dee's 20 Stitches Stitch for Pride stitch along, and this was one of the starts I had for that. I did see that Dee is doing the stitch along again this year, and it's going to go over 12 months instead of all just in June, so that's super exciting. But this is Modern Folk Embroideries Move Forward in Love, Pride Sal 2022. I made this little rainbow bag for it. I'm stitching it in the called for DMCs on a piece of 36 count Fortnite fabrics in Sea of Fog. And here's where I got. So not super far. I'm not even sure if this is a page or not. I started a lot of projects in June for that learning and stitching challenge, so very pretty. This next one I also started in June, and this will be a gift. This is Nora Corbett's Lady Orchid Moth. It's like this. I'm using all of the called for everything. It lives in this little combo Maryland bag I made. My little notions pouch, and then fabric. Like I said, it's being, I think I said it's being stitched in all of the called for everything on a piece of 28 count Swigart Toulouse even weave in the color Green Apple by Extreme Design. And this is as far as I got. Unfortunately, because of all the lighting, everything's going to be, like I said, blown out a little bit. I don't know if I have anything I can put this against so you can see how green it really is. It's a really beautiful, soft green. This is a really nice fabric. It's not too big of a start, but something. There's no timeline on that, so. Ooh, the next is one of my favorite projects. This is the Old Winter by the Primitive Hare. Looks like this. There's actually two projects that live in this bag. It's a little winter puppy bag. I'm stitching this on the called for linen. It's the printed snowflake linen, also by the Primitive Hare, using all of the called for DMC. And here's where I am. And this is beautiful. I hope to finish this one this year. I love this. The other project that lives in that bag is Winter Forest by Stitchy Princess on Etsy. This was a new start this year. I'm stitching it on a piece of 32 count Stratus Belfast by Color and Cotton using the code for DMCs, and I got halfway done with this project last year. This is so cute, and what I love about this is the border is like, look, there's a little reindeer and a little fox and a tree. dogs down here. So cute. That is so cute. So that one went pretty fast when I worked on it. Next is another new start from this year. This is Plum Street Samplers Trellis Blackbirds. Looks like this. It lives in this little Peanuts bag. When our dog gets tired, we call her Snoopy because her ears go down like Snoopy's. I'm stitching out on a piece of coloring cotton, 36 count, in Robin's Egg. This is an old one. This one's from 2017. And I'm just using colors from my stash. Whatever I thought looked nice. And this is where I got it. Not too far. Something is wrong here. I know because I put in a basting line, so I know how long to take the lines down. Something is off, and then I tried to fix it, but this darkest pink here, when I tried to frog with it, it could not be like stained the fabric. So we're just, you know, it's gonna be fine. We'll just make it work. Cute. This is another new start from this past year. This is Hands-On Design, the French Kitchen, Strawberries and Mint. And it lives in this little Black-Eyed Susan bag that I made, but I'm not sure why, because I have the whole French Kitchen set. I didn't get it when it was coming out monthly. Like after that was done, I ordered it and they still like sent it to me monthly, so I still, or every other month or something like that. Either way, I've got all of them in here. I think I even have the like the new companion pieces that they put out afterwards in here as well. This is being stitched on the called for Hand by Stephanie 32 count French blue, using all the called for everything that came in the kit. And here's where I got. Was it last year on New Year's? Last New Year's, the one before, I can't remember. I did the rosemary and pear, and it only took like 2 days, so I'm not sure what I'm doing with this. Why this is hanging out like this, but that should not be. Should not be. All right, next is a Mill Hill kit. I have 2 of these currently on the go. This is Buttons and Beads Frosty Morning. I do love cardinals. It lives in this cat bag. I'd like to get this one finished up this year too. I'm using everything, of course, in the kit, and I usually make little cards for little floss cards. I got this pattern from Abby at Top Knot, and I used her little thank you to make a floss card for it. And there's like strings and needles and stuff. What am I doing here? All right, this is where I'm at. So I've stitched a lot, but there is still a lot to go. These are full coverage, and yeah, there's still quite a bit to go on this one. So, but hopefully this year I can get it done before the spring. This next one I started in October as part of October stitching. This is Not Forgotten Farms Halloween Barnyard. I love this. It's one of my favorite new starts of the year. It lives in this beautiful bag by Olivia B at Hillside Rookery. Look at that. Oh, love this. Love it, love it, love it. I'm stitching it with the called for DMC on a piece of Fortnite fabrics. This is called Phoenix Rising. And here's what I got. I did have to actually change some colors in the barn just because they kind of blended in together a little bit too much. It didn't quite look like the cover. So I did make some adjustments there, and I tried many different blacks to figure out how I wanted it. So I think this, I started with one strand of black, and then I went back and crossed it twice, and then here's sulky black, and I think I decided on the sulky is the one I liked the best. Another Dark October start from this year was by the Witchy Stitcher. I got the Poe box from Starlight Stitchery, and this was one of the patterns that was in it. The Witchy Stitcher, Poe, the Raven. It looks like this. I'm stitching it with some Moselle black silk. I think it's just black. It's nice. It's nice to work with. It lives in this cute little bag. I'm stitching on a piece of primitive hair, dark spell linen, which is what the model was stitched on. I am stitching this 1/1. This is a 30 count to make it fit on here. So that's cute. I'm not sure how I will finish this. We will see, but I have an Edgar Allan Poe wall over there, so it will definitely find its way over there somehow. All right, that's one stack down. Pretty good. I guess continuing with the October theme, I have Cats on Parade by Blackbird Design. I love this. It's a monochromatic pattern. You make into a little drum if you'd like. I'm using a combination of the Call for 3371 and this, oh, it's not open, so I won't open it, this sulky dark brown, one strand of each to get the coverage that I like. It's in this cute Fat Cat bag. It's being stitched on a piece of Ship's Manor June Prim 32 count Lugana. I didn't get super far on this one, but I got some outlining done, and I started the fence at least, so I've got some kind of anchor points to work off of. I think this might be good stitch group stitching. Cute. This next is a sampler that I started last February, I believe, and then never pulled back out for whatever reason. And I don't have a cover photo in here, so I will have to put a cover photo up here for us. This is Rosina Dizery 1820. This is by Works by ABC, Arlene Cohen. It lives in this cute little Diana bag, and I'm using the called for DMC. This is being stitched on a piece of 28 count monocode that I coffee tea dyed myself. And it's a little light on here, but this is 4 pages done. 4 or 3, whatever this whole side is done. However many pages that is. Oh, pretty. I'm excited to get back to that one. I think the next section is all the over one verse. So I do like to use Monaco when I'm working over one. I feel like the kind of the stiffness of the fabric helps keep the stitches from slipping. So next was another October start. This is Barbara Anna Designs, the Rampant Cats sampler. Looks like this. It says All Hallows Eve up here. I am stitching this in the called for DMC, and this cat sampler lives in this dog bag. And I'm stitching it on a piece of 36 count Color and Cotton Barley. It was their August 2020 fabric of the month. Here's where I'm at. I didn't get too far on this one either, but that's okay. This next sampler I also started in October. This is by Carriage House Samplings, and it's Agnes Rolinson. And they give you 2 options. There's the big full sampler or this little one, and I am doing this little one here, this little section. I'm using the called for DMC, and it lives in this Momely bag. I'm stitching this on a piece of 36 count Millstone by LFA Linens. This was their July linen club. They stopped doing their linen clubs. This is the only one I got from them, but that's okay. It's a beautiful fabric. And here's where I got. Isn't that fabric pretty? Oh, so I just worked on border. If I recall, I had a really bad cold, I think, when the time came for me to work on this, so I just worked on border because that's all my my brain could handle at the time. But she's pretty. She's gonna be nice. She doesn't go over too much farther than that. The next is one of my favorites. This is something else that I really hope to finish this year, and this is Blackened Sky by the Painted Needle. This is obviously my working copy. I borrowed this chart from a friend, and I would really like to get it back to them. I honestly thought when I got this, I was gonna like stitch it up like so fast, but this is a lot of stitching, a lot more than I thought it was, and it's taken me a long time. And so I would like to get this done this year if I can. I'm just pulling colors block by block that I like, and it all is in this great Janet Jabber bag. I love this. I finished 2 blocks this year. My goal was 3, I only got to 2. This is stitched on a piece of 36 count Old Brown by XG Design. Here's where it is. So I had this one done, and I finished this block and this block this year. I love this. I mean, it's big, right? Cute. This next sampler is another one of my favorites. Excuse me, and there's actually 2 things that live in this bag, so I'll show you both because they're both on the same fabric. This is Hannah Hetherington by From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. And she offers a lot of different options to stitch this chart, a lot of different floss options. I went with the Gloriana, so it's more like this colorway, but I'm doing this big sampler up here. And it lives in this Quilting by Nico bag. And here, oh my goodness, here are all of the colors. Aren't they pretty? Oh, these are so nice. These are so nice to work with. There is one, what's this? Silken colors in here too. Beautiful. It's on a piece of 36 count driftwood, also by XG Design. And here's where I'm at. And this color is much warmer in real life. So this is 2 pages. I think this is halfway, or maybe a little more so. So pretty. And then on the other side of this fabric lives 1905 Rare by Bendy Stitchy. I love this pattern. I love this. This reminds me of my grandmother. I don't know. It's just so pretty. And I'm using the Sulky floss pack that goes with it, which I also love. I love stitching with Sulky. And here's where I'm at. I worked on this not too long ago. And this one will definitely be a pretty quick finish. So let's see, next I have the other Millhoe kit that I have on the go. I had a lot of appointments this year, and so this was something that I was taking with me on the various appointments that I had to go to, and this is Autumn Harvest Collection Come Stitch. It was in this cute little, oops, this cute little bag. It's animals having a party. I ended up tracking down this fabric and making a quilt with it for my nephew when he was born after I got that bag. Again, I'm using all of the called for everything that came in the kit, another little card I made with the floss, and I'm not too far on it because I didn't always have to wait that long. But I've got just the sign. I'm just working on the sign. I don't know if that will continue to be my appointment stitch, because once I do the sign it gets a little fiddly, so I might pick something else. Alright, the next thing that I worked on, not the next thing that I worked on, something else that I worked on this year was the Moon Phase Bell Pull by Tiny Modernist. and my hope for this project was to get 3 moon phases done, the top 3, and I did accomplish that. This is in another Quilting with Nico bag. Cute that is, using the color for DMC, and this is being stitched on a piece of 36 count Seraphim fabric in Timberwolf. And here's where it is. This fabric is definitely, oh. Sorry, the dog is dreaming and she's like running a little bit in her sleep. That's really funny. That totally distracted me, but I think this looks so good. So good. I've got a giant piece of this fabric. So there will be plenty left over for other projects when this one is done. I don't anticipate getting this one done next year, but maybe if I can get another third of it done, I would be happy. All right, on to the next pile. Let me see if I can gently move this without moving the light. Okay. Last pile. All right, the next project I have is by Just Stitching Along, and this is Miss Lucy Calcutt, 1825. She looks like this. She did not get much love this year. I finished 1 page of her either in January, either late December or January of last year. And then I started this page here and I just, nope, I'm lying. I started this page here. I did the middle page earlier in the year. I started this page over here and I was working on the border and I just couldn't get into it. But that's okay. She lives in this cute bag. This is from Jen, Delicious Breads. It's gonna make me crazy. This is using all of the called for DMC, and I have got Miss Lucy Calcutt 1826 also in here. She's being stitched on a piece of 25 count Lugana that I dyed myself over 1. And here's where she is. So she is very pretty. The border is, I don't know what it is about this flower border. I just don't enjoy stitching it very much. But we'll get through. There's a lot of this sampler left to go. I'd hoped to get 3 pages done last year, and that definitely did not happen. So, I think I said last time I worked on this, I think I need to pick this up in the spring. There's a lot of like pinks and springy colors, and I think that will make me more in the mood to work on it. My next project is last year's New Year, New Start. I started this, I had, excuse me, COVID last year for Christmas and New Year's, which was, but I did start this project, and I think maybe that's why I kind of didn't get back to it, because I just kind of think about that now when I see it, but I am going to focus on it for January, because this is a New Year's Day sampler. This is Mary Claire Carroll 1738. It's the oldest known Maryland sampler by Samplers Revisited. And I'm not going to read the whole verse, but it does say, "This New Year's gift your sampler may adorn, and pattern be to others yet unborn." That's part of this up here. When I show it in my next update, I'll read through the verse and everything. This lives in this Maryland bag. This started my obsession with making all these Maryland bags. I've got quite a few of them now, because I couldn't find a project bag with Maryland fabric. So this came from Redbubble, I think. I'm not sure. But I got this to hold the pattern, and then I got these 2 cute little ones to hold my flosses. Obviously Grabs and Flags, and then Lafayette. We have a Lafayette statue down in my town, and the Lafayette Trail as well. So that's what holds all my supplies for this project, and she's big. She's a big girl. I finished, when I first started working on her, I finished 3 pages, and this is where I'm at. This is stitched on 38 count something. I didn't get the tag out. Do I have the tag? Yes, I do. 38 count Legacy Linen in Wayfarer's Cloak. And I had this long skinny piece. She'll go on and on. But so I am. She stitched 1/2, and she loved some satin stitch. There is quite a lot of satin stitch in this pattern. That's okay. There's also a little bit of embroidery too, which I know can be a little intimidating, but we're just gonna see what happens. So I'm gonna have her out for the month of January and see what we can get done on her. This next project I also worked on during my COVID downtime. So Mary, Claire, Carol, Lucy Calcutt, and the Pandemic Sampler were the 3 projects that I sequestered myself upstairs when I was sick and couldn't come downstairs. So lives, I'm sorry, did I say this was the Pandemic Sampler by Sarcy Girl? I only have, I think, just a sad copy of it. Not great. She offered this for free, and she suggested that you make a donation. And what's in this bag? I'm stitching it in all of the called for DMC on a piece of 36 count extra design linen in My Little Dove. And here's where I'm at. This one's pretty big too. So this year I did this page, I guess in January, and then I pulled it out one more time and I started on the border. The border is pretty intense. Like, it's just repeating, it's always the same, at least so far. And I believe it should be all the way through. But there's still a lot of work to go on this one, so I definitely want to give it some love. This next project bag contains 2 projects again. Oops. This cute little bag here contains 2 projects because I've got another piece of fabric that has 2 projects on it. Let me arrange here a little bit. Okay, so this is a piece of 36 count farm eggs by Extra Design. It was an exclusive for Teresa Kitten Stitcher. And on the top of this fabric, I am stitching Exemplar Dames Design Company, Dames and Boarding School. Just like this. I was inspired by Stephanie of Lindy Stitches. She stitched this pattern on this fabric, and I stopped everything and went and bought went and bought all of it so I could start it so I could make mine just like hers. So I've got all of the called for flosses here, and she lives on the top half of this fabric. So this is the first page, and then I stitched down to the bottom border because on the other half of this is Jenny Bean's Gentle Spring. Yes, Jenny Bean's Gentle Spring by Shakespeare's Peddler. For this, I am using all colors from my stash, and there are quite a few of them. That's a lot of floss there. And here's where I got to on that one. I really like this. I've got Jenny Bean's Halloween and Jenny Bean's Christmas on the wall here, and then I've got a space above the window next to it where I'm going to put Miss Jenny Bean's Spring. So, very cute. This is the next project is one that I started this fall, and I didn't get very much stitching time on it. And it is Autumn Song by Blackbird Design. Looks like this. And it has, I don't know if you can see, there is a alphabet band here and a little book down here. That is out of print. I am trying to work through some of my out of print patterns to get them back out in circulation, because what good are they doing anybody if they're just sitting here at my house? So it's living in this squirrel bag. Cute. I am using the called for flosses, and this is being stitched on a piece of, here's the tag, 28 count Country French Spring Meadow Green. I'm not sure who makes this, but here's where I got to. Not too much. This, I really like this linen. This is really nice. I'm stitching this in hand. It's really nice to stitch with or on. But that's pretty. It says in the pattern to use either, I think, 28 or 32 count if you want to fit it on a box. So, ooh, this next one I'm excited to pull back out. This is Anna Oman 1873. I love this one. This is my current blue sampler. I'm stitching lots of blue samplers. I've got 2 on the wall over there, and I think 3 that I finished that I haven't framed yet. Lives in this Halloween bag for some reason, and I was really excited when I opened this because I recently reorganized all my charts, and I couldn't find She Sights a Bird by Blackbird. It's because it was in here. I guess I intend to put that on the rest of this fabric. It only calls for 1 color, and I'm stitching it in Mosaic Bilbao? I don't know. I don't know where it is, but looks like this. Pretty. This is a little thread keep that I think came in the Kitten Stitcher Advent box. It's Andale, which is a beautiful sampler. I'm stitching this on a piece of 36 count Ancient by Picture This Plus. And here's what I got. I love this. I love it. So I think this is 1 page out of maybe 4. So I'm super anxious to get back to her. The next project that I have here is a start that I made with my friend Lily at the New Jersey Cross Stitch Retreat this year. And she has since finished hers, and I have not pulled mine back out again, but that's okay. This won't take long to finish. This is Eleanor Rigby by Blackbird Design. And Eleanor Rigby lives in this cute little mouse bag that I made. I made one for me, and I made one for Lily too. And I'm stitching this as not necessarily a companion piece, but sort of, to 272 words, which is the Gettysburg Address. I have that hanging on that wall, and I stitched that, and I dedicated it to my grandfather, who shared a birthday with Abraham Lincoln. This is a much smaller sampler, obviously, than that giant thing. But I'm stitching it in all of the same colors that I used for that project. And I'm going to change the name on here and make it my grandmother's name. So I stitched that on a piece of Grandpa's Sleeve by Extra Design, and this is a piece of Grandma's Slip. And I didn't get super far. I got to the white at the top of this flower, and you can't see it, so I need to pick a different white for that. But I think that once I get going on this again, this is going to stitch it pretty fast. So. Right, next was my birthday start from this year. I was kind of like meh about my birthday, so I didn't want to start anything super big. And I ended up picking this pattern that I've had for a long time and I've always loved. This is Folk House by Not Forgotten Farm. And I do want to change these 2 cats to make this one look like my cat Herbie that passed away in 2020, and this one to look like Bud Kitty, who is my old man upstairs. He's 16. You want to change that. It's living in this little Maryland bag that I made, and I'm using all of the called for DMC. I'm stitching this on a piece of 32 count Sampler Khaki by Extra Design. And here's where I got to. My birthday tradition is to sit on the couch and watch movies with Quentin, and so we watched a couple of movies, and I outlined a house. So I didn't get to any of the exciting parts, but at least the outline is pretty much done. Just gotta keep working on that roof though. This might be my smallest start, not in terms of project size, but in terms of stitches I put in of the year. This is Sheepish Designs American Beauty. I started this, but it was right when I was involved in some other stitching plans, I think. So I didn't get very far, but that's okay. It lives in this the doggy bag, and I pulled colors from my stash. Did I do this yet? So there's some pretty colors in this. It's being stitched on a piece of 32 count black Belfast. And that's it, that's all I got. Not too much. This is a project that I have to work on upstairs. My stitching spot downstairs, I need to address my lighting situation. It's not very good anymore, so I need to do that. But my good light is upstairs in my stitching room, so this has to be an upstairs project for now. And lastly is a project that I'm not sure if I'm going to keep or what exactly I'm going to do with it. I don't know why, because I like this project, I like the fabric, I like the floss, I like the pattern, but I just never ever pull it out. So maybe what I need to do is pull it out and work on it some and see if I give it like some dedicated time, if I get back into it. But if not, that's okay. I don't have a cover photo for it, so I'll have to put it up here. And that's Lovebirds by Peruvian Flare. It's a beautiful pattern. It's 2 colors. I'm stitching it with this Silks For You, is their September 2020 Silk of the Month, and this Planet Earth Fibers in Peak 1096. Pretty colors. It's being stitched on a piece of 40 count ruby linen by Color and Cotton, which I love, and I've bought a bunch of red linen since because I love this so much. And this is where I'm at. And this is like 2 years, I think, that I've had this as a WIP. And I just don't know why I can't find a groove on it. I don't have any problem stitching on it. It's just, I'm not sure. So we'll see what happens with this. Let me work on it and give it some love, and then I'll make some decisions. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that all of you have a wonderful new year. I'm sure that there will be lots of new projects started next year too. Hopefully I can get through some of these. I really love all of them. I'm happy to have them and to have the opportunity to work on them. So, all right, everybody, Happy New Year. Love you all. Bye.